Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a new video. So there's really no hiding or surprise or anything here. The title of the video is pretty self-explanatory. I picked up a Tomei. Now, before you start jumping down my throat and start commenting a million different things, let me explain exactly as to why I'm changing exhaust, as well as why I picked up a Tomei. So if you guys have been following me along kind of on my journey, you guys know that I went on a little bit of an exhaust escapade, because I was trying different versions, different brands, different styles, because I am running equal length headers. So I was trying to perfect the sound, find something that I really liked. So I went through a few different ones. You guys have seen all the videos if you haven't been following me. So like I said, I'm running equal length headers by Killer Bee. I'm also running a catted Grimsby downpipe. And right now I'm running an AWE track catback. It sounds fantastic. I love the sound of it. It really does sound good. But if you guys saw my last video, you know I had some kind of frustration with the AWE. Not to say that it's not performing right or it's not, doing what it's supposed to. Just small nuisances that I've been dealing with this specific exhaust. I've kind of reached my limit with it. For me, when I modify my car, I like to do stuff that I can just buy, install, enjoy it, and never necessarily have to revisit it again. With the AWE, unfortunately, I've had to kind of fix a few things. I keep on going back to it. It's just unnecessary stress and things that I worry about with my OCD self. So if I have to keep on revisiting something to fix it, to get it to where I want, it just doesn't necessarily make the cut. Now, don't take it the wrong way. AWE is a fantastic brand. I absolutely love their products. Just the little nuisances that I have had to deal with my exhaust, it's just, that's my own opinion. That's just my consumer report in a way. So I wanted to try something different. Now, AWE actually reached out to me, which I'm very grateful for. I never had the intentions of that happening when I put up that video, but they reached out to me and said, hey, we want to make it right. They kind of give me a few options to kind of resolve the issue. So, there's no hate, there's no dissing or no burning any brands or anything like that. Heck, I might even go back to the AWE if I don't like the Tomei. So don't take it the wrong way. Don't think that I'm just taking it off because I hate it or I think it's a bad brand. Please don't. It's a great brand. It really does sound fantastic. So there's no hard feelings. It's simply just me being me and wanting to try something else. So anytime I mention about changing an exhaust or wanting to try something different on my Instagram or YouTube or wherever, people always give me 1,000 options. I'm very thankful for all the feedback and everybody responding. But it's really funny because everybody is just like, take this one, try this one. I have it. It's the only one I've ever had. It's the best exhaust in the world. Like, I get it. It sounds really good because it's the one that you bought and it could sound good. But for me, I like to formulate opinions based on my experience. I can't say I don't like a Tomei or I think it sounds bad if I never tried it. That is the main reason why I am trying it. I want to put it on my car. I want to see just how loud it is. I want to see if I'm going to love it. Now, I love loud cars. I love loud exhausts. So this is not going to be too loud for me, I assure you. Before I even started doing YouTube and making videos and everything, I've had some pretty darn loud exhaust setups on previous cars, so I'm used to the whole loud exhaust game. I'm used to the whole drone thing, so it's not new to me. I'm not a noob or an amateur when it comes to exhaust or modifying a car. I've been doing it for almost 2 decades now, so I'm pretty familiar with the whole thing. Granted, I don't know everything, but I have some pretty decent experience under my belt in terms of modifying a car and doing different exhausts. So why the Tomei? Well, I've tried just about every version of a quad tip exhaust that is out there. I tried the Delta Motorworks, which was literally just a straight pipe, no resonators, no mufflers, nothing. It was super loud, super raspy, and it sounded really good, but the rasp was too much. After that, I tried the Delta Motorworks resonated mid pipe. So that sounded really good, but the issue with that was the resonator that they use for that exhaust just hangs too low. And being at the height that I am, I was actually scraping on very minor bumps on the road and everything. It was just a very, very inconvenient thing to have to deal with. So that came off. I sold that. I ended up getting a Cobb Titanium, which was beautiful. I love that exhaust. It sounded great, especially with the equal length setup. But it was just a little too quiet for me. I love the sound of the Titanium. I love the deeper tone that it produced. But like I said, it was just too quiet. I found myself almost stalling the car when I was driving it because I couldn't really hear it when I was driving it. But toned down the actual in-cabin noise And a lot of, how I shift and how I drive the car is based on the sound and the note of the car. So when I wasn't able to hear it, it kind of like threw my mind for a loop, and it I don't know, something about it. It was just too quiet for me. So I ended up selling that. And then I went to the AWE Touring. Love that exhaust. It sounded really good. The drone was extremely minimal. It was actually fairly loud for how large the mufflers are in the back. But the one thing that I wasn't crazy about was that I had a very, very high pitched sound. Now, it did sound good, don't get me wrong. It sounded a little too high pitched for me. And I just wanted I wanted to bring the bass back, the deeper tones. So then I ended up picking up the track muffler, which I just made it up with the same exact mid pipe from the AWE Touring, which is exactly the same. And I loved it. It sounded so good. It brought all the bass back. It was super rumbly. It was super loud. It was actually fairly quiet, just cruising around. Unless you were getting on the car, it really wasn't that bad. I was surprised at just how, comfortable and tame it was just driving around town. Now, don't get me wrong, it is loud, but it was bearable. I really did enjoy it. So after trying all those different versions with different resonators, different mufflers, all that stuff, the only style that I really haven't tried is a single exit. Now, hear me out. I am not a big single exit fan on this chassis. I think it looks a little funky. It doesn't really fit the actual, style of the car. For me, I think it looks better on older generations like Hawkeyes and Blobeyes. It does look good on the GR chassis as well, especially the hatch. But I wanted to give it a try. Like I said, I wanted to formulate a proper opinion. People ask me about exhaust all the time, and the Tomei is literally the most popular exhaust that every single person puts on, not necessarily just with WRXs and STIs, but literally every car. It is a very, very popular exhaust, and for good reason. It's a very, very nice piece. Granted, I haven't opened it yet. We will do that in a little bit. But it's a very, very nice piece. It's super reasonable. It's, just over the $1,000 mark. So it's not that bad. I mean, considering the Cobb titanium, that was $2,000, so this is pretty reasonable at just around $1,000. And also some people are going to say, oh, you're going to, the single exit is going to bother you. The empty exhaust cutout over here is going to bother you. Well, I actually picked up a solution from SubiSpeed. This is actually the exhaust cutout block off plate. So it's really nice. It's made out of steel. Very, very nice piece, and I think it's going to look really good. So what that does is it's going to block off this side, so it looks a little bit more complete, a little bit more put together. So it's not just a big empty hole on that side. So we will see. We'll see if I like it. I'm not 100% sure. I know it's going to be loud, but everybody that I've talked to, I've heard feedback on with equal length that has tried with the Tomei. Everyone says it is the best sounding setup that you can possibly have. So I really wanted to try it out. I wanted to see it in person. I wanted to put it on the car, see what I think. Is it a good sound? Is it too loud? Is it overhyped? I want to get that opinion for myself. So I picked this up from Subi Mods. I hit up Bryant, who is my go-to guy over there. And I was like, hey man, do you have any Tomeis in stock? I'm looking to pick one up. He's like, yeah, I ordered this yesterday. This literally came in less than 24 hours. So a huge shout out to Bryant. Actually, he just announced that he's actually leaving Subi Mods, but he's still going to be doing his own thing. So be sure to shoot over to his Instagram. Be sure to support him and everything. He's a girl dad just like me. So girl dads for life. But huge shout out to Bryant for getting me this so fast. He even overnighted me the block off plate as well from SubiSpeed. So everything literally came within 24 hours. So again, huge shout out to Bryant. I appreciate it. And I'm thrilled that this came so quickly that we can start doing videos on it and everything. I know I just chatted a lot. I know I said a lot of things. I know a lot of people say they get wordy, but I just wanted to get my explanation out as to why I got a new exhaust. Why am I trying a Tomei? Why am I taking off the AWE? Because I know a lot of you are going to have questions. So I hope I answered everybody. I hope everybody has an idea and understanding as to why I'm trying something different. I may put this on. I may absolutely hate it. I may put the AWE right back on. So we will see. That is the fun part about doing all this. We will see if I love it. If I don't, I can just switch back and then go from there. So enough chatting, even though I just chatted for way too long. Let's open this up. Let's check it out and see what I think. Good God, I can't even convey to you, unless you've ever experienced or seen a Tomei in person, that is a big old tip. It is really nice. I mean, honestly, it reminds me of the Cobb titanium, obviously because it's made out of the same material, but super, super nice. I'm really, really impressed with the quality. There was one part, I think it was actually on the muffler on this end. The little clamp was a little bent in, which is kind of hard to show on camera, but not a big deal because that part is going to be clamped down and you know, it's not going to be seen and it's going to seal up just fine. But otherwise, everything came in really, really nicely. There's a little dent right here, which is not a big deal, obviously. But super, super nice. Again, like I said, this just reminds me of the Cobb titanium. Really nice coloring. It's got the extreme titanium, a little logo on the side of the tip. It also comes with a silencer, which I'm not sure if you guys know that or not. No, I'm not going to use that, but it is good to have. Maybe, you know, if I'm starting the car early up in the morning or something like that, I can throw that on so I don't annoy the neighbors too much. Everything is in here in this box with all the hardware and everything you need to install it. This does come with my favorite kind of exhaust joint connections, which is slip-on style. So everything just slips right on, then you just use the little spring clamp things to tighten everything down. This side, thankfully, is just a normal 3-inch flange. I don't have to deal with any adapters. I don't have to deal with any donut gaskets. It's simply just a normal gasket flange here that connects to the downpipe, which is really nice because that is one of the issues that I had with this exhaust, since you needed to get that Grimspeed adapter little plate thing. So I'm going to be using the Grimspeed gasket that I have on there now, and it should seal up really nicely. But I think it's gonna give it a good look on the back. I'm excited that I did pick up the little block off plate over there as well. So it's gonna clean it up, make the install look really nice. Unfortunately, I'm not installing it tonight. I simply just do not have the time to get it done tonight, but I am thinking about burning the pie cuts here. I did that on my Cobb titanium and it turned out beautiful. And there's not many on here, so it's not gonna take as long. So depending how much butane I actually have left, I might knock this out and do it real quick. If you guys see it in the next clip, you know that I'm obviously doing it, but really, really nice piece. The quality is top notch for sure. Let me turn the camera off. Let me just take a look at this without having the camera on me and, you know, examine it a little bit more. And then I'm going to decide if I'm going to burn it or not. I probably will because I love the look of it. So I'll catch you guys back in a little bit. All right, so naturally I had to do it. Knowing me and with titanium and everything, I couldn't help myself. I had enough butane to actually get it burnt on this exhaust. I did my Cobb titanium as well, which was much bigger. This took me about, I would say, an hour to do this size exhaust. The Cobb took me almost 2 hours since it's much bigger. There's much more bends and pie cuts and everything. But it came out really nice. It looks really, really good. It's funny because, you know, nobody ever sees this since it's under the car. But for me, knowing it's done just makes it that much better. Naturally, over time, titanium in general, once it heat cycles over and over, it does start to get this coloring, especially with parts closer to the engine. So, you know, Lamborghinis and everything that they have titanium exhausts and all that, you know, the coloring and the rainbow effect and the coloring that you get with titanium, that happens naturally. So by me just burning it early, it's just kind of prematurely wearing it in. You know, it does nothing other than just looks cool. But for me, with titanium, you guys know that I have a titanium obsession with all the hardware and everything around the car. This was kind of something I had to do. So, so it looks really good. But like I said, I'm not going to install it tonight simply because I just don't have the time to get it done. But over the weekend, I'm planning to get this on the car. It shouldn't take me too long. It's probably the most simple exhaust to put on a car since it's single exit. Don't have to worry about tips aligning and all that. And it's just one side. So I should have something out next week in terms of install and of course the initial startup. And then I'll do a separate, exhaust video like I normally do with revving and drive-bys and all that stuff, which is the video that most people are going to be interested in. But you guys know me, I only have a certain amount of time to get these videos done. So I will get it out next week, I promise, once time allows. But yeah, that is the new Tomei titanium exhaust, single exit, very new to me. I'm so used to the quad tip design and just the quad tip look. So this should be interesting. I'm really looking forward to trying it out, formulating an opinion, and kind of giving you guys my feedback to let you know if it's worth it or not, and just how it sounds on equal length headers. So yeah, guys, that's all I got for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions about the exhaust or burning or anything like that, be sure to let me know in the comments. But in the meantime, keep it clean, keep it simple, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.